This is Catholic Challenge on the Living Bread Radio Network. 16 teams will test their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Join us on this journey as we navigate our way from BC to AD and everything in between. Today's defenders of the faith will take up their shield and sword to compete for prize money and a chance to move on to the next round of competition. Are you ready for the challenge? Now, here's your host, Michael Roberts.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Catholic Challenge. Today we have two teams that will compete, testing their knowledge of the Catholic faith. Each team is playing for their favorite Catholic charity, and whoever wins today will earn $200 for that charity and the opportunity to advance to the next round. So today we welcome Joe Frangos and Nicholas Colston. They are here playing for Elevate YM. And we have Linda Miller and Pam Bunnenberg. They are here playing for Massillon St. Mary's School. So teams, welcome. Nice to have you both with us. Before we begin our game, though, let's find out how to play. Here's the rules.
In round one, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 10 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Elevate YM, you will go first. Joe Frangos, you are the team captain. Let's do it. Catholic Challenge, round 1 starts right now. Here's question number 1. It's true or false. Jesus said that anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. True or false? Need an answer.
Can you repeat the question?
Absolutely. It's a true or false question. And Jesus said that anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. True or false?
True.
The book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 11. Absolutely true. Here's question number 2. The word spirit comes from the Hebrew word ruah, which can mean what? Water, clouds, or breath?
Breath.
You got it. Question number 3. Which of the apostles was originally a tax collector? Peter, Matthew or Levi, or Andrew?
Matthew.
You got it. Question number 4, here it is. What moral virtue helps us restrain our appetites? Generosity, temperance, or respect?
Temperance.
I could use some more of that temperance for sure, especially around the holiday season. Here's question number 5. Which image or symbol is not used for the church in the New Testament? Temple, bride, or a pyramid?
Pyramid.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. It's worth 25 points. Here it is. Who did the risen Jesus tell to feed his lambs? Was it James, John the Baptist, or Peter?
Peter.
You got it, and that is a round 1 sweep. Elevate YM, you now have 75 points. We move over now to St. Mary's School in Massillon. Linda Miller and Pam Bunnenberg. Linda, you are the team captain. Here we go. Round 1 begins for both of you right now. Here's question number 1. Our current pontiff, Pope Francis, was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in 1936. He actually worked briefly as a nightclub bouncer before starting his seminary studies. He was ordained to the priesthood in 1969. Which country is Pope Francis originally from? Poland, Albania, or Argentina?
Argentina.
And who knew that Pope Francis actually worked as a nightclub bouncer briefly before he started his seminary studies? What a man. Here's question number 2. When the mother of the sons of Zebedee, James and John, asked that her sons sit on the right and left of Jesus, his response included the following. Whoever wishes to be great among you shall be what? Your servant, the new king, or a prophet?
Your servant.
Matthew chapter 20, verses 26 and 27. Here's question number 3. The names of the Blessed Mother's parents are not mentioned in the Bible, but they are documented in Catholic tradition. Joachim is her father, but what is the name of Mary's mother? Miriam, Anne, or Martha?
Anne.
Saints Joachim and Anne, the parents of the BVM. Here's question number 4. In his first letter to the Corinthians, who does Paul say is the head of the woman? Her guardian angel, the Blessed Mother, or man? Need an answer.
Man.
Judge? All right, that right under the wire, but we got it. It is man. Here's question number 5. It's true or false. Jesus Christ died for all mankind. True or false?
True.
Yeah, obviously, absolutely true. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. When John was baptizing in Bethany, across the Jordan, he saw Jesus in the distance. He said, "Behold, what? My favorite cousin, the Lamb of God, or a strange man?"
The Lamb of God.
You got it, and that is a round 1 sweep. Congratulations, St. Mary's School in Massillon. You now have 75 points. Both teams now tied at 75 as we end round 1. It's time now for our first timeout of the game. When we come back, we'll introduce you to our contestants. Stay with us. You're listening to Catholic Challenge only on the Living Bread Radio Network.
St. Raphael Bookstore is a proud financial sponsor of Catholic Challenge, the one-stop shop for defenders of the faith. Their resources are geared toward lifelong and new members of the faith. Online at catholicbook.net.
Prize money for Catholic Challenge is provided in part by Ziegler Tire, serving the listening area for 97 years and counting, with name brand tires and auto service that you can trust. Find out more at ZieglerTire.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network. I'm your host, Michael Roberts, and today our competitors are Joe Frangos and Nicholas Colston. They are playing for Elevate YM. We also have Linda Miller and Pam Bunnenberg. They are playing for St. Mary's School in Massillon. Let's take a moment now and meet our contestants, and we'll begin with Joe Frangos and Nicholas Colston. Elevate YM. Joe, you're the team captain, so first of all, I know what the word elevate means, but YM, does that stand for youth ministry?
It does stand.
And where is Elevate YM at?
Elevate YM is the collaborative youth ministry between St. Paul's in North Canton and Little Flower. We just combined this past September, actually.
Oh, okay. What are the numbers like as far as how many youth are involved in the ministry?
Oh, I would say any given week we have about 30 to 35 teenagers active, and then on our Wednesday night Bible studies we have about 25 to 30 youth.
Wow.
Overall, though, I would say around 50 on the books, but...
Good.
Yeah.
That's great, though. So talk to us a little bit about yourself, and also introduce us, if you would, to your partner there, Nicholas Colston.
All right. I am Joe Frangos. I'm the youth minister at St. Paul's and at Little Flower. I'm a Malone graduate, actually, with a degree in Bible and theology and youth ministry. I grew up in Canal Fulton. I had gone to Jackson High School. My partner is Nick Colston. He is a volunteer within the youth ministry. We've been friends for, 3 or 4 years or so.
Right.
We met in college. So
Very good. Well, it's nice to have you both with us, and glad that you're playing here for the youth with Elevate YM. We move over now to St. Mary's School in Massillon. Linda Miller and Pam Bunnenberg are the teammates here, and Linda, you're the team captain, so obviously we know about St. Mary's School, so I don't need to really ask you about that, but if you would, though, tell us a little bit about the school as far as enrollment is concerned. How many kids go to St. Mary's, give or take?
205 children.
All right, great. And so I understand both of you are staff members at St. Mary's, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and Pam, if you would.
I teach second grade, and Pam is our school secretary, and she also teaches 8th grade religion.
All right. How long have you guys been working at St. Mary's?
This is my 4th year.
Oh, great.
And this is Pam's 3rd year.
Great. Yeah, very good. And so both of you go to St. Mary's Parish there in Massillon, historic St. Mary's, or what?
No. I grew up at St. Mary's in Massillon, but my parish now is in St. Mary's in Canton.
Oh, okay. So you're still here in the Stark County area nonetheless.
Yes.
Pam goes to St. Mary's though, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, ladies, it's nice to have you both with us here. And again, playing for the youth, both teams today playing for the youth in one way, shape, or form. So it's nice to have you both with us here as well. All right. We're going to move on now to round number 2. Let's hear the rules.
In round 2, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 15 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There's no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Elevate YM, you will go first. Joe Frangos, you are the team captain there. Round number 2 starts right now. Here's question number 1. She was the mother of Saint Constantine, the first Christian emperor of Rome. Traveled to the Holy City, the Holy Land in 326 to 328, founding churches and establishing relief agencies for the poor. She is also said to have found the true cross. Who is she? Saint Anne, Saint Bernadette, or Saint Helena? Need an answer?
Helena.
Yeah, Saint Helena is the mother of Constantine. Here's question number 2. What is it called when Mary received the news of her virginal conception of Jesus? Christmas, Annunciation, or Magnificat?
Annunciation.
We celebrate it every year on March 25th. It is the Annunciation. Here's question number 3. What Jewish feast day was the occasion for the Last Supper of Jesus with his apostles? Hanukkah, Passover, or Yom Kippur?
Passover.
That is it. Question number 4. At what event did Jesus' clothes become bright white? This was witnessed by the 3 apostles, Peter, James, and John. Was it Easter, the Transfiguration, or the Ascension?
The Transfiguration.
August 6th, we celebrate the Transfiguration each year in the church. Question number 5. A very frequently quoted scripture starts with the words, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son." This comes from which book of the Bible? Genesis, Revelation, or the Gospel of John?
The Gospel of John.
John 3:16 to be exact. You got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. When Jesus visited Jericho, this very short tax collector climbed a tree to see him. After meeting Jesus, this man gave away half of all his possessions to the poor. Was it Matthew, Simeon, or Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus.
The very short tax collector, Zacchaeus. All right, that is a round 2 sweep. Elevate YM, 175 unblemished points for you here as we move into round number 3. We move now, though, to St. Mary's School in Massillon. You have 75 points. Linda Miller and Pam Bunnenberg. Here we go. Linda, you are the team captain. Round number 2 starts right now. Here's question number 1. God's covenant with Noah was related to what? The promised land, the flood, or the animals?
The flood.
Absolutely. Question number 2. This Italian saint was influenced by stories of the Jesuits in India, and at age 18, he joined the Jesuits. He died from the plague at the age of 23 after receiving the last rites from St. Robert Bellarmine. This saint's feast day is June 21st. Is it St. Aloysius Gonzaga, St. Patrick, or St. George?
St. Aloysius Gonzaga.
Absolutely right. Question number 3. Which river was Naaman told to wash in to rid himself of leprosy? The Nile, the Rhine, or the Jordan?
The Jordan.
The famous Jordan River. Absolutely right. Here's question number 4. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 6, Jesus says, "Do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw what before swine? Corn cobs, pearls, or wheat?" Need an answer?
Wheat. I think it's pearls.
No, the correct answer there is pearls. Do not give what is holy to dogs or throw pearls before swine. And here's question number 5 for you. The first words of the Apostles' Creed proclaim that we believe God is the creator of what? All good things, humans and animals, or heaven and earth?
Heaven and earth.
Absolutely right. All right. At the end of round number 2, St. Mary's School in Massillon, you have 135 points. Once again, Elevate YM is in the lead with 175 points. We're just about ready to move on now to round number 3. But before we do, we always like to pause and thank our sponsors. You know, our sponsors are responsible for all of the prize money throughout our season here on Catholic Challenge. It couldn't be done without them. And so we say thanks to Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, and Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union. These organizations continue to partner with us to help all of you learn more about the Catholic faith. So thank you so much to our sponsors. All right, now on to round number 3. Here's the rules.
In round 3, each team will answer 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 20 points each. Questions are either true, false, or multiple choice. The contestants may confer, but the team captain must answer the question. There is no penalty for incorrect answers. If all 5 questions are answered correctly, the team will be given a chance to answer a bonus question worth 25 points.
All right, Elevate YM, let's do it. Joe Frango's round number 3 starts right now. Here's question number 1. Which Polish saint was canonized by Pope John Paul II in 2000? She had visions of Jesus, which she recorded in a diary. Jesus asked her to spread his message of divine mercy by instituting Divine Mercy Sunday, the first Sunday after Easter, which should be preceded by a novena of the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Who are we talking about? St. Teresa of Calcutta, St. Joan of Arc, or St. Faustina?
Saint Faustina.
That is it. Question number 2. Which angel announced to Zechariah, the husband of Elizabeth, that he and his wife would become parents in their old age? Was it Gabriel, Marcel, or Anthony?
Gabriel.
The Archangel Gabriel. Question number 3. The season of Lent always begins on what day? Easter, Palm Sunday, or Ash Wednesday?
Ash Wednesday.
Correct. Question number 4, it's true or false. The Liturgy of the Hours is based on the Book of Psalms. True or false?
True.
Absolutely true. And here's question number 5. The United States bishops have designated January 22nd as a very special day of prayer for what group of people? Immigrants, unborn babies, or prisoners?
Unborn babies.
The liturgical color for that day is purple as a sign of penance for the unborn babies. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is, worth 25 points. Saul was knocked off his horse and saw Jesus as a bright light on his way to this city. What was the city? Bethlehem, Damascus, or Rome?
Damascus.
Absolutely right. That is a round 3 sweep. Elevate YM, you're in the lead with 300 points. We move over now to St. Mary's School in Massillon with 135 points. Linda Miller, you are the team captain there. Here we go. Round number 3 starts for you both right now. Question number 1, it's true or false. The 10 Commandments are found in the books of Exodus and Deuteronomy. True or false? Need me?
True.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Here's question number 2. When there was no water to drink in the wilderness, what did Moses strike to produce water? A riverbed, a rock, or a watermelon?
A rock.
Yeah, you got it. Here's question number 3. This very beloved saint is most famous for her work with the poor in India. It was only after her death that people became aware of the spiritual desert she lived in. For many years, she felt abandoned by God. Who is this saint? St. Joan of Arc, St. Barbara, or St. Teresa of Calcutta?
St. Teresa of Calcutta.
One of my favorite quotes by St. Teresa, they asked her what was she going to say to God when she went to heaven, and she said, "You got a lot of explaining to do." Question number 4. When a man said to Jesus, "Who is my neighbor?" what parable did Jesus reply with? The parable of the Good Samaritan, the prodigal son, or the fig tree?
The parable of the Good Samaritan.
Luke chapter 10, the parable of the Good Samaritan. Here's question number 5. What is it called when a person utters words of hatred against God or abuses his name? Swearing, hate speech, or blasphemy?
Blasphemy.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. All right, you got all 5 of those right. Let's move on now to the bonus question. Here it is. It's worth 25 points. What happened on the 8th day after Jesus' birth? Was it the visit of the Magi, the flight into Egypt, or his circumcision? Need an answer?
Circumcision.
Yeah, absolutely right. It was his circumcision, and that is a round 3 sweep for you, St. Mary's School in Massillon. So our score, Elevate YM, you're in the lead with 300. St. Mary's School in Massillon, you have 260. We're going to take another quick time out. When we come back, we have the challenge round. But before we do leave you here, we always love to ask a question to you, our listening audience. And here's the question. Does the Catholic Church allow cremation of the body of the deceased? We'll give you the answer coming up. Go nowhere. You're listening to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Prize money for Catholic Challenge is provided in part by Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union, serving families and businesses with all of your banking needs. NCUA insured. Online at ohiocatholicfcu.com.
And welcome back to Catholic Challenge right here on the Living Bread Radio Network. Before we left, we asked you, the listening audience, a question. Does the Catholic Church allow cremation of the body of the deceased? Well, the Church was opposed to cremation before there was a movement in Europe which advocated cremation as a new way of showing disbelief in the doctrine of the resurrection of the body at the end of time. But in 1963, the Church rule changed to permit cremation, provided it was not chosen as a means of advertising disbelief in that doctrine. And also, it is preferable for the cremains to be buried in a cemetery, not to be on a mantle above someone's fireplace. All right. We've got a great game going here right now. Elevate YM, you're in the lead with 300 points. St. Mary's School in Massillon, you're trailing with 260. Still very much anyone's game. It's time now for the challenge round. Contestants, hands on your buzzers. The challenge round starts right now. Here's question number 1. In Genesis 19, which towns were destroyed by fire and brimstone? Elevate.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Correct. Question number 2. Who told Pilate not to have anything to do with Jesus because of a troubling dream she had? St. Mary's.
His wife.
His wife.
His wife, that is absolutely right, comes from Matthew chapter 27. Here's question number 3. A baptized Christian who does not believe all of the articles of faith is called what? Need an answer. Elevate.
A catechumen.
No, I'll reread the question and give St. Mary's and Massillon an opportunity to answer. A baptized Christian who does not believe all of the articles of the faith is called what?
An unbeliever.
No, the correct answer there is a heretic.
Heretic.
A heretic
That's right. Okay.
is someone who does not believe. I know it's like one of those. That's right. We got it. All right. Here's question number 4. There are 3 times of the day that the Angelus should be prayed. Name one of them. St. Mary's.
Noon.
Yeah, 6 a.m., 12 noon, or 6 p.m. And of course, church bells traditionally ring at that time to remind us to pray the Angelus. Here's question number 5. What is the French word for the manger in which Christ was born in Bethlehem?
Crutch.
St. Mary's.
Crutch.
A crutch, absolutely. And St. Mary's, you are now in the lead with 350 points. Elevate YM, you're trailing with 330 points. Here we go, continuing on with the challenge round. Question number 6. The 3 wise men from the east brought gifts when they visited the baby Jesus in Bethlehem. These were gold, frankincense, and St. Mary's.
Myrrh.
Matthew chapter 2, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Here's question number 7. As God's children, the nation of Israel, roamed the wilderness for 40 years after leaving Egypt, he gave them which special food from heaven? St. Mary's.
Manna.
Exodus chapter 16, he gave them manna from heaven. Here's question number 8. What is the priestly obligation which binds him never to reveal anything told to him? St. Mary's.
Confession.
No, I'll reread the question. Elevate YM, you'll have the opportunity to answer. What is the priestly obligation which binds him never to reveal anything told to him during a confession?
The seal of the sacrament.
Yeah, or the seal of confession. That is absolutely right. All right, here we go. Question number 9. What is the enclosed meeting of cardinals for the purpose of electing a new Elevate?
Conclave.
The purpose of electing a new pope, it is a conclave. Here's question number 10. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit, St. Mary's.
Magnificat.
No, I'll reread the question, give you the opportunity, Elevate, to answer. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for he has looked on the humble estate of his servant. From Luke chapter 1, who said these words?
Mary.
The Blessed Virgin Mary, absolutely. All right. And Elevate YM, you are now in the lead with 420. St. Mary's and Massillon, you have 410. It's a very close game. Here's question number 12. The name of what famous city in the life of Christ means house of bread? Elevate.
Bethlehem.
Absolutely right. Question number 13. Here we go. Which modern-day saint suffered a martyr's death in a Nazi concentration camp? St. Mary's.
Maximilian Kolbe.
August 14th, we celebrate the feast of St. Maximilian Mary Kolbe. Here's question number 14. What miraculous image appeared in Mexico on the tilma, St. Mary's?
Our Lady of Guadalupe.
The tilma of St. Juan Diego in 1531. And here we go. Question number 15. Which archangel appeared to the Blessed Mother to announce her incarnation, St. Mary's?
St. Gabriel.
The Archangel Gabriel announced the incarnation of Jesus Christ. Woo! Another close game, and we're saying congratulations to Linda Miller and Pam Bunnenberg. A donation of $200 has been given to St. Mary's School on your behalf, and you now move on to the next round. Elevate YM, we thank you for playing. Joe Frangos and Nicholas Colston. A donation of $50 will be given to Elevate YM on your behalf. Our final score, St. Mary's 500, Elevate YM 450, a very close game. Special thanks once again to our sponsors, Ziegler Tire, St. Raphael Bookstore, and Ohio Catholic Federal Credit Union, whose generous support provides our prize money. We'll see you next week for another edition of Catholic Challenge, right here on the Living Bread Radio Network.
Today's program was edited for broadcast length.
This has been another edition of Catholic Challenge, a production of the Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio. If you'd like to be a part of the program, email quiz@livingbreadradio.com. For an audio archive of this show, or to view the current brackets, go to livingbreadradio.com and join us next time for another edition of Catholic Challenge.